Hello and welcome back to Elder Kings 2. A lot has changed since last time we played this mod, and I am very excited to get into it because it is also updated for the latest patch of CK3, which means we've got legends, we've got activities, we've got plagues. In fact, we've got the Nahatan flu, which wipes out apparently pretty much every non-Argonian race in the Black Marsh, which is coincidentally where we are playing. We are going to be playing in the Black Marsh, we're going to be playing an Argonian, and more specifically, we're going to be playing this guy up here. Now, when I say we're going to be playing him, I want this to be a little bit more of a roleplay type series. Not so much in that we're only going to roleplay and we're only going to do that, but in that we're going to try and achieve things that make sense within our character's goals. And our character has some pretty interesting goals. So, let's start by reading the scenario for the Black Marsh, give us an idea of where we're starting, then we'll read a little bit about our character, and then we'll jump right in. So, Istenders grow restless ever since the loose but effective Potentate's peace went unenforced. Needed change begets sweeping destruction after all. Several rulers claim rule over the people of the Root, from the declining royals of Middle Argonia to the ascendant confederations of the Oncobra and Boa valleys. None should be haughty in these uncertain times, yet the unfettered chieftain of the Zu Salil stakes a claim on nothing less than Stormhold in the pursuit of revenge. All the while, Hillstorm and Archon's royal houses must be content with reaffirming authority over their traditional lands. Non-Saxlil denizens of the Black Marsh walk on a knife's edge, with the two Lil Mothit prowls edging towards a ruinous war between enemy siblings. Horwali from Archon are on track to match Yes Pest prosperity. Alas, will this survive the Vrasaith clan leader's passing? Finally, Aelid princes reel from the loss of Sil Yanorn to dress slavers, leaving their northernmost kindred to shoulder the dual burden of Dunmer slavery and Saxlil raids. Can you go with the Ku Vashtai, or will you drown inside the tides of change? So, essentially, there was a peace. This peace went unenforced, and a bunch of new rulers have risen up and staked their claim for the Black Marsh. And obviously we're going to throw our name into the hat. So, who are we, and what makes us different? Well, we are Kal Brand-Shei, the Fury. In terms of scars, there is no besting Brand-Shei. Captivity in dress-controlled Stormhold has been horrifying yet pivotal in forging his sanguine self. While he toiled in the fields beneath its walls, he made a promise to himself, to rule the place and to place the governor's head upon a spike. But before he can even do so, he has to support his brother-in-law in his own uprising against nothing less than a coalition of dress magnates. And Brand-Shei sees his dreams with both hands, or will his grave stake join the piles of would-be liberators? Well, with that, we're going to jump in, and we're going to get the answer to that question. Let's start. So, the first thing that we need to do upon loading the map is we need to figure out exactly where we stand. What are our positives, what are our negatives, what exactly are we doing here? Well, let's see what bit of land we hold. We're all the way down here in Zu Salil. And, well, it is an interesting situation for us because we hold a reasonable amount of land. I mean, we hold a couple of different counties, which is pretty good. We have 3 things in our domain, which is us maxing our domain. That's a positive sign. The negative is, of course, that we are in our brother-in-law's war. So if we go in here and have a look, we'll find this guy right here. Now, he is in a little bit more danger than we are, because he is currently facing this guy right here, who is trying to take basically all of his land. If we have a look at this here, he wants to take all of this. If our brother-in-law surrenders the war, The councilman becomes independent, which simply means that his land is leaving House Dress's land and he's getting his own command, basically. He gets all the titles. He becomes the Bane of Argonia. He gets a press claim on House Dress, which is the land that he came from, so he's getting a claim on his overall house, and on the Kingdom of Tyrmarsh. He gets money, he imprisons everyone, including us, which is a little bit of a negative from my point of view for us, and then a bunch of people become his vassals, and yeah, it's really not very good. So, this is very bad for us. If we enforce demands, however, things look a lot better. Our brother-in-law gets to keep his titles, our brother-in-law gets money, our brother-in-law also gets even more money and imprisons a ton of different people, which is pretty cool. Also, everybody who's participated in the war, including us, gets some prestige and some money. So, we have a pretty big incentive to win this war. And it gets us some revenge against the dress, which is one of our goals. So, that's all pretty good. But, what exactly do Argonians do with their land? Well, let's have a little look at their religion and their culture, and that'll give us a little bit of an idea as to what we're working with. Like, what tools do we have at our disposal to help our brother-in-law win this war? So, religion-wise, we have our 3 tenets. We have reincarnation, not that important right now, but basically it means that children have a chance of being considered a reincarnation of an ancestor, and gives you some resistance to being converted. Sacred childbirth, which means that your mothers and children are less likely to die during the childbirth process, and makes things that are related to childbirth virtues. So, in theory, we're going to be wanting to have a lot of children. And then we have Ku-Vashtai, which makes forgiving a virtue, and gives all Hist followers, of which we are one, because this is a Hist faith, Lord Stress Gain and Lord Stress, or Increased Stress Loss, which is great for keeping your stress sorted, but it lowers your development growth, and it means that you can never adopt a feudal-like government. We are stuck in our government type, which is, at the moment, tribal, which makes a lot of sense. So, if we ever want to leave tribal, we have to switch our faith, right? That is just a straightforward thing. It just has to be done. So, let's see what we got. So, sins are arrogant, stubborn, and vengeful. And then our virtues are patient, content, fickle, forgiving, pregnant, and laid egg. Okay, all of this seems pretty straightforward so far. Strong heritage identity means it's very quick to convert when you're in your own lands, very slow to convert when you're not in your own lands. Okay. Pantheon doctrines. So, we're able to select both a deity and an aspect. The aspect gives predefined bonuses to all the faithful, scaling with their level of devotion, reduces faith hostility with faiths sharing the same main pantheon doctrine. Hist, which gives us this, and also gives us the Hist communion activity if you are Argonian, which replaces pilgrimage, so that would apply to us. And then aspect of control. So this the aspect it's talking about here. So each level of devotion gives 0.05 monthly county control and 5% county control growth. So the more devoted you are, the easier it is to hold on to your lands. Or at least the lands that are your faith. Again, all of this makes a lot of sense. Marriage doctrines are all fairly straightforward, apart from suitable party, because I've never seen this. So this, I was thinking, this must be something added by the mod, and I believe it is. If we go and have a look over, I think it's over here, maybe? Okay, I found one. Code of Malakath. So, Code of Malakath is suitable party, at least one landed. So this is the only restriction I could find, and this one basically just means that one party has to be landed in order for marriage to happen. That just doesn't apply to us. It's got nothing else to do with anything else, that's just purely what that does. Okay, back to our religion. We accept witchcraft, everything else is shunned, deviancy is criminal. Then we get down here, we have a gravestake burial. The body will be buried in the marsh, pinned down by the gravestake on which the deceased's life story will be carved. So, that's what it was mentioning at the end of our character's story. We shun the worship of every Daedric doctrine. And then those are our virtues and sins again at the bottom. So, our faith doesn't have an awful lot that's going to help us in this war. Our faith is basically just saying it's pretty straightforward, apart from the fact that we get some extra control for our devotion, and that we are very focused around childbirth and around family and that sort of thing, and reincarnation, and the idea that it's all one connected system. So, the previous people who die come back again, and you're having large families, so effectively it's the family. I'm trying to think of a nicer word than recycling, but I'll use that for now. Right. Let's have a look at our culture. So, we have Hist Skin. This one unlocks the ability to sail in major rivers. That's interesting, and the forder trait is more common. It's cheaper to embark, and negates supply penalty in jungle, wetlands, and gives you advantage in wetlands. So this one is really, really good for us, as well as negating the supply penalty in Black Marsh and giving us advantage in Black Marsh. So that gives us a huge amount of bonuses if we can fight in that kind of terrain. So that's good to know. Also, we get bonuses to our levy size in jungle, wetlands, and Black Marsh. So getting more land in that territory, very, very, very good for us because it's going to give us more levies than getting land elsewhere. All of that seems great to know. Also, you get plague resistance of 90 in all Leal holdings. So, any holding of our culture gets that plague resistance. That gives us a huge incentive to make holdings our culture. Like, all of this gives us a huge incentive to, 1, to stay in the Black Marsh, and 2, to make all of these holdings our culture. Cool. Next, Sacred Marshes. Gain piety when completing buildings and holdings with either wetlands or Black Marsh terrain, and get extra taxes. So, again, another benefit to staying in wetlands and Black Marsh. Strong Believers. So, Zealous trait is more common, Humble trait is more common, and you're not less likely to convert. That seems fine. Marital Ceremonies. So it makes marriage acceptance more likely in general, and gives you more bonuses from your spouse for spouse counselor tasks. Okay. Cannot use any divorce interactions. So it's much easier to marry, and you get more benefits from it, but it's much harder to leave. Adulterer and Fornicator traits are despised, and Hostile Scheme success chance versus spouses is lowered. So it's very much a, once you marry, you're in there for life, and there's very little way out of it. And then hit and run tactics. So sieging, very, very not effective. But you take very low amounts of casualties, and you don't take a lot from retreating either. Like it's very easy to leave a fight without losing a lot of troops. Okay. And then again, we get some damage bonuses, which is nice. So skirmishers and light cav. Okay, cool. That's not where our culture ends, however, because we also get some unique stuff in here, and this is some new stuff that the mod has added. So, Hist Mending. This allows us to have Hist members as men at arms. So that's these guys. Now, I'm not entirely sure what they do beyond just providing you a ton of damage, but I think if you siege progress per day, they look pretty good. We also get Ancient Roots, which allows us to recruit a whole bunch of other men-at-arms. So I'll go through these here. So they're all just the normal types of men-at-arms, but they're reskinned. So that seems cool. Might makes right. So this is a idea that, depending on your level of fame, it affects what you're able to do. So this is almost legitimacy, I would say. Like, this is almost their version of the legitimacy system. Although we also have legitimacy as a separate system. Which is kind of weird, but I assume that this one was in first. Anyway. But yeah, depending on where you are, it allows you to do different things. So, you're only allowed to do a de jure war. So, only allowed to declare war for lands which you have a right to because you hold some other land. So for instance, if we have a look in here, This is our land. If we have a look at the duchy, this bit of land right here should be part of our duchy, right? That should be a county that we can have, and if we are distinguished, or then, which we're not, then we could declare a war for that, right? It is distinguished, right? Let me see here. Yeah, so if we're distinguished, we would then have a reason to declare war. But right now we can't because our level of fame isn't high enough. If we wanted to take a duchy, which is something that is by rights in a kingdom, we would need to be illustrious. Kingdom, you would have to be exalted. Interesting, unrestricted tier is kind of interesting for legendary figure. That kind of implies that there's an ability to take an empire at some point, but that doesn't sound right, because you can in the normal game. But anyway, it might just mean unrestricted for now. It just means the previous tiers, but anyway. Crown authority laws unlock at the following levels of fame as well, so you need to be a higher level of fame to change your crown authority to a higher tier. Although actually, I wonder whether you need it to go to a lower tier as well. I don't know. Like, do you have to be illustrious? If you're at high, do you need to be illustrious to move down? That would be interesting. Anyway, and then some tenets and doctrines can change whether this does anything, and they can add a level of devotion requirement, and so on and so forth. We also have alchemy, which gives us even more plague resistance. So every Halil province starts with 95 plague resistance. Can we confirm that on our province? Yeah, there you go, 95. Hist skin plus Halil. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay. And then on top of that, we also have marsh steading. So this innovation is given to any culture that is native to any nativity region in the Black Marsh. So this is a concept that the mod adds in. So most cultures are said to have been born or to have lived hundreds of years in a specific part of the world, also known as the nativity region. It's very difficult for them to be spread outside the nativity regions, and it's usually easier for a ruler to spread a local culture instead of their own. Some cultures are not tied to any specific part of the world, and they can make themselves at home no matter the environment. These cultures are considered migratory. So ours is not, if that's not very clear here. Negate supply penalty in the Black Marsh gives us 8 advantage in the Black Marsh, which is again another huge amount of bonus for being in the Black Marsh. So I believe that this is 8 on top of the 3 that we already get. So that's pretty good right there. Development growth in the Black Marsh goes up by 40%. So we had a development growth negative previously, but if we're in territory which matches our character, we're going to get a bigger bonus. So a lot of this is basically, you're going to get a huge amount of negatives if you go outside swamps, but if you stay in the swamp, it's going to be fantastic. You're going to get holding taxes, you're going to get levies, you're going to get development growth, you're going to get advantage, you're going to get no supply limit. Things are going to be great. You take one step outside that, you're in big trouble. Now, why is this important for us? Well, I think that a lot of this land, which these guys are attacking us from, is not in the Black Marsh. So, let me see here. Let me confirm that. So, if we go to here, so it's hills, you got some floodplains, you got some jungle hills, got some jungle, these guys, you got jungle hills, some wetlands. So wetlands would get a bonus, so fighting on this side would be fine-ish, right? But if we head down here, we get the Black Marsh. Now this gives us a huge advantage in combat. We get a huge amount of extra advantage, and attackers take huge amounts of penalties. So they have a bunch of casualties, and we get advantage, although I guess defenders also take these negatives as well. But combat width is lowered, which is good for smaller armies. All of this basically means we want to fight in like this bit of land, or maybe here at stretch. They want to fight up this way. So ideally in this war, we want to be over here as much as possible. Now this land currently has some enemies in it. Is this, what's this? So these are hills. So we probably want to fight in Wagal Wagalil over here, right? This is going to give us the biggest benefit that we could possibly get. So, that's what we're thinking of. Okay, so now we've had a look at our culture, we've had a look at our religion, we still haven't actually unpaused the game or done anything. Let's start working on things that we can immediately implement and then use. So, men-at-arms are currently unstationed. We have some of these guys who are alright-ish, some of these guys who are slightly better, and then a bunch of menders who are much better, but we only get 50 of them. So what do we get for stationing these guys? So we get 15, 7.5, 7.5. Okay. Here, we get 15, 5.5, 5.5. And then these guys, we get 9, 2.5, 2.5. So, I think, well, we've got two ways of thinking about this. We can either buff our best units, or we can buff our worst units because we have a lot more of them and there's more of them getting the buff. I think I'm going to take the middle ground. These guys are getting a 15 bonus here. I think I'm going to put them onto this holding for now because there's double the number of them than the menders. And, yeah. And they get a bigger bonus than these guys or the menders. So that makes sense to me. And then these two were exactly the same for both of them, so we'll just stick these guys in whatever province, it doesn't matter. Right? They get some benefit. Cool. So those are our men-at-arms, and we can now raise them. Anything else that we can do? So we have our Sap Seeker here, who's not very good. We have our Root Herald. So you are currently increasing... There's an independent ruler's opinion of us and giving us prestige. That sounds about right. Do we have any vassals? I kind of assume that we don't have any vassals of any note. Yeah, so we have vassals, but these are all barony tier vassals, so none of them are going to do anything to us, right? They're not going to raise up in a faction or anything, so that's fine. War Teacher. Are you our best? No, so we can immediately replace this guy if we want to. And I think we want to replace him with this guy with red eyes. So, let's put you in here. Yeah, I'm happy that you're unhappy, or I'm fine with you being unhappy, because that gives us this guy. I don't really care about army maintenance right now. I'd rather you trained commanders to make our army better, because we're going to have a lower number of troops, so we need our troops to be as good as possible. And then we have our Leaf Whisperer. Now, this is our Spy Master, and our Spy Master does not like us. That's never a good situation to be in. I'm actually going to swap you with my player heir. Even though it's going to lose us some opinion with a powerful vassal, I would much rather have our player heir in there, because he's unlikely to do anything against us right now. Although, obviously, if your player heir dislikes you, they're just going to murder you, but let's not worry about that. We can get some money from church holdings, in theory, if this guy likes us a little bit more, but I don't know how much we're going to get, so we'll leave you for now. You're increasing our taxes. That's probably fine while we're at war. We might switch you when we're not at war. You have no available spouse, so we're currently unmarried with 2 children. Our heir is our first child. Okay. So this is our heir. Our heir is wrathful, arrogant, brave, skilled tactician, flexible leader. So he looks fantastic currently for leading armies. And then we have ourselves. So we have a negative. Below expected level of fame. So our vassal limit is lowered. So yeah, again, this is another one that sounds like legitimacy, right? Because we're also below our expected level of legitimacy. But this is more of a specific character one. Like legitimacy is maybe they're using it as a as like the legitimacy of the title. And this is more of the expected fame of the, like, this is expected, this is, one of them is what's expected of the ruler of the title, and then this one is what is expected of the person themselves. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way of saying it. Effectively, this lowers our knight effectiveness, which is not great. So if we could raise our level of fame, we get 10%, I assume, knight effectiveness. So that might be worth doing. Although currently the only real way we have of doing that is to leave this person on foreign affairs, which is fine, but it's not going to get us there very quickly. We could, in theory, though, find a good wife. If we can find a wife who is fantastic, well, that's going to raise our prestige a little bit. So maybe that's something to think about. Desert Warrior. Well, that's not going to help us too much due to there being a complete and utter lack of desert. What even is the terrain map? I assumed it was T, but it's Control G, obviously. So where's the nearest desert? I'm kind of assuming it's over here. Hills, jungle, forest, wetlands, farmland. Yeah, so here's where the desert is. It's all that yellow bit in there. So we get some desert here, we get some desert here. So that's completely useless for us. Okay. We also have a claim on something. We have a claim on the Barony of Stormhold. Okay, so that's specifically against our rival. That makes a lot of sense. That's something that we're going to want to get in time. Okay. So there's our player heir. Next we have our son. He seems fine. There's nothing really wrong with him. He's just a second son. How old are they? 19 and 17. So they could probably marry, right? Yes, they can probably marry. We also get alliances with our brother and friend and our brother-in-law. Cool, so we should probably think about doing that. There's our brother and friend, so he holds the land below us, which interestingly we do have a claim on, but we probably don't want to press. I think getting an alliance with him could be useful. Not for this war, but for future wars. And then we can also get an alliance with our brother-in-law, who is the person whose war we're in. Okay, so I think an alliance with both of them makes sense, just in general. Okay, anything else for us before we get ready to move on? I think we're pretty good. Let's find ourselves a wife. So, what is our main concern about our wife right now? It would be lovely if she had an inheritable trait. I think we're going to have to settle for our wife not having a negative trait. So probably want to avoid something like slow, but we do want to find some sort of good trait. But what we also really, really want is prestige gain. So the best are these two. So this hatchling, who's 3, or Shilahi Kalmoto, who would be fine as well. She has a claim on this. What is this? So there's a claim on some land north of House Dress. Okay. And her parent holds that land. Okay. That seems potentially alright. Yeah, I think that might be our best marriage. So that was this person right here. How much prestige does it get us? 200 prestige. How much do we need for the next level? Need 1,000. Well, gets us 1/5 of the way there. Gets us an alliance with somebody. I think that's going to have to be our best option. I don't think that we have a better way to do this. Now, your player heir is this guy. That's fine. Oh, I should check our succession law as well, just while we're here. Our succession law is Confederate partition equal. Okay, so both genders equal and have equal rights and inheritance. Confederate partition, it will split your land upon succession among your eligible heirs. A little bit annoying, but there you have it. Right, let's do this. I think that's fine. Her stats are fine. She has no negative trait, which I think is the best we're going to get here. She has a virtue, which is okay. I think that seems fine-ish. It was not the best marriage in the world, but it'll do for our first marriage. We also need to do some perk stuff, but we'll do that later. Family members need to get married. Our son. Now, what is our... yeah, if I go into here... Actually, I need to go into our culture for what I'm looking for. Culture. So we have equal martial custom. This means that both men and women can be commanders and champions. This is great info for us because that means we probably want to try and marry our son and heir and our second son to people who might be good as champions because we really need anything we can get. So you can maybe marry this person, maybe marry this giant, sleeps beneath filth. Now, interestingly, they're 1,000 cults. They are not our religion. Okay. And then we have you. You have a bit of our arcana potential, not a ton. Obese. Okay. Just seeing what our options are here. Our options are limited. We have you. You are beautiful and athletic. You might be fine for our first son. Yeah. So you are going to marry him. That gets him 400 prestige, which is pretty good. Or is that... Oh no, that gets... I think I read this wrong before as well. I don't think we're getting any prestige. I think our wife is getting the prestige. Oops, so this gets her 400 prestige and loses our son 200 prestige. Okay, well, we're going to have to take it. I think that's fine. Either way, we didn't really have any options, so we'll take what we can get. Right, second son. Second son, we don't care. Second son, you're marrying the giant who's got a foreign religion. Why? She's really good at hitting things. That's your reasoning here. You're gonna marry her, we're gonna put a sword in her hand, and we're gonna point her at the enemy. That's the plan. Right, so, let's get that done. I should have checked how good my champions were, but... yeah, I was right that these guys would be better. Yeah. Yeah, I think these guys will be better. That's fine. We have an accolade that we can get. That's worth looking at. We'll wait for some of the marriages to go through before we do the accolade. We are a lot of the way through Strategist. This is fantastic, because Strategist gives you bonuses in pretty much everything. Right? Everything you could ever want, we get bonuses for in Strategist. So I think we have to just continue with Marshall. I think we're going towards this. I think we probably want to... oh, there's a new path. That's kind of cool. I think we probably want to grab Stalwart Leader as soon as possible. It makes us much less likely to die in combat. Yeah, I think we're going to go Marshal. And then we're going to aim for Stalwart Leader as soon as possible. There is also a magic path, which I do remember a little of from previous times we played this, but it seems to have had a little bit of a... yeah, a little bit of an overhaul since last time I looked at it. Anyway, that's fine. So we now have Marshal. We are going to get our troops raised. Anything else before we set off? I think that's pretty much everything we could ever want. I think we're settled. So, our goal is to get here ASAP. Our goal is to sit here. Where is our allies' army? Does he have any troops raised? I don't think he does, but let's find. You look like a champion. Yep, you're a champion. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move somewhere else in the map. Then you're going to jump. He is here. He is currently at home. He is not in an army. Okay, cool. So, the place we want to go is Wagahiel, or Hilil, and that's where he's going to raise his troops, so that is almost perfect for us. So we want to go here and basically just sit here and try and get these guys to fight us. I think that's our best way to win. I don't really think we have another way to win. If we have a look here, they just have so many more troops. I guess our only way to win is to group and to stay exclusively in the good provinces, like this little bit here, and just hope they fight us. And then if they fight us enough, they might lose their troops, and then we can potentially siege this land or this land, something like that. Actually, we kind of want to siege up here, right? Because these are the wetlands. Yeah. So we probably want to head straight up there and siege, but it's not looking great for us. One other thing I want to check. Mercenaries? We can hire mercenaries. We don't really want to hire them right away, necessarily, because that would make us bankrupt, but that is an option available to us, right? Or is it not? Oh no, we can't hire mercenaries because it's too expensive. Never mind, that's what I thought. Right, so let's raise our troops here and let's walk to there. Sounds like a plan to me. We're gonna have to unpause the game at some point. Right, raise all. I guess we'll lead. It's not great to lead an army if you don't have Stalwart Leader, because this reduces the risk of commanding armies. It's pretty much like, take this and you don't die. But we'll do what we can. Is there anything else that we need to do? Not really. I think this is the best. Oh, no, one other thing. We need to do our accolade. Oh, but we'll do that when when the married people get here. Yeah. Cool. So, our son married someone. Great. And our other son married someone. Okay, I can't help but notice both my sons married and we're still unmarried. There we go. Now we are married. Perfect. So that gives us a wife, which also gives us a bunch of skills over here. So we now get pluses to all of these, which will be great because that'll also help us in battle. Now means that our advantage is 23, which is not that bad. Okay, so we have our army. Let's go have a quick look at accolades and see what we got. So, this does not serve as a knight. You know what? Let's manually set our knights for now. How many do we get? We get 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think the difference between 4 and 5 matter. But let's just manually set them. I'll go and set them all back to allowed after the war, but I just want them to be set. Okay, so you can give me Stalwart and Scoundrel. So Stalwart immediately doesn't give us anything. This gives us travel safety. Scoundrel doesn't give us anything. Okay, you. Thug, dread per tyranny, not important. Scoundrel, mercenary higher cost. Marauder, uncontrolled territory, attacker advantage. It's something, it's not what we're looking for. Marauder, Scoundrel, Stalwart. Are those not the same 3? No, but I think we have seen all 3, yeah. Our wife? Idealist. Not great. Okay, so our options aren't fantastic, although, what I will say is Stalwart does give you toughness eventually. Just, like, not for a long while. I think we're going to have to go with... I guess we're going to have to go with Marauder? Yeah, okay. So I guess, Mac Nisus, you are our first acclaimed champion. Okay, and I'm going to create it. I would change the name, but you can't change the name on this screen because, or at least you couldn't because it doesn't save it. We can change it now, though. What are we going to be? You know what we're going to call this one? I'm going to call this one the Dress Hunter. Because that's who we're currently against. So that gives us some kind of context for it. Okay, cool. So that gave us no bonus, and in fact won't give us a bonus. But I mean, it gives us the rank 1 bonus, so it gives us 2 uncontrolled territory attacker advantage. I guess it gives us a bonus if we attack outside of, if we attack outside our realm. So I guess it'll give us a bonus if we attack over here, but yeah, I'm not feeling great about that. Yeah, so I want to aim for this province. Cool. They're raising troops. Are the numbers still the same? They look the same-ish. We might have slightly more than we had a second ago. Let's go up to speed 4. Wedding celebration. With my marriage to Raj Nasa Shlilalhi, the realm expects us to throw a suitably extravagant wedding celebration. It is well within my right to collect a royal aid duty as part of this, but some may consider it tasteless to levy an extra tax during a time of jubilation. 75 gold or 350 prestige. The prestige is really nice. It could get us towards distinguished, which will mean that our knight effectiveness is better. However, we really need the money, so I'm going to take the money. Wedding inspiration. And with the blessings of the Hist, I now declare Brand-Shei and Shi-Lahi to be newlyweds. The crowd cheered and made a line to congratulate both me and Shi-Lahi in our new adventure. While we are receiving such congratulations, Sleeps Beneath Filth approaches us, saying that our ceremony has inspired her. We ponder what that could mean as she asked to be considered for sponsorship. And say, how lovely. And I give you 107 gold to go to Black Marsh, which is, by the way, where we are, or stick to your duties. Yeah, you weren't brought here for your inspiration, you were brought here to punch people. And I hope that you achieve your goals. Right, let's go. I would also consider hiring court positions, but I don't think that that's not our path to victory. I don't think it's going to matter whether we have court positions or not. And on top of that, we can't afford it, so. No, I want to go here and then here. Oh, that is the only route here? Perfect. I want to be part of this fight. Yeah, get me in that fight. We are actually winning it. Perfect. In fact, we've won that fight. My alliance expired because this guy died. My wife's father? Oh, wait. Not my wife's father? No, that was my wife's father. Yeah, he died. Okay. Can I get an alliance with you? He doesn't want one. Alright, well. I guess it's because we're in a war, but that's fine. Okay. The battle is done. So they're currently sieging up here. I'm just trying to see what the terrain is like. Does it show me if I do this? Yeah, floodplains, wet plains. So we don't really want to fight here because we don't get any bonus in floodplains. We also haven't killed a ton of their troops with that battle. Yeah, at least not enough to affect the overall totals. Okay, I'm going to join this guy anyway. We'll see where he wants to go. I want to link to him. Maybe I'll attach to his army. We'll just let him run it for now. And we'll think about what we're doing afterwards. So I've now linked, so the AI should know that his army is my army. Ruler has changed faith. So you've changed to this faith, which has human sacrifice in it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's interesting. So these are the guys who are just over here. Okay. Intriguing. I don't know what to do with that information, but that's them there. Also, you can see some new traits that this mod adds in. Acute makes you better at doing magic. Lifespan is a lifespan trait. Basically, if you don't have this, assume that you're normal for Crusader Kings in terms of health. But you get more health, you get lowered fertility, all sorts of or you get more fertility years, but lowered fertility, all sorts of stuff like that. And then she's got a wizard thing. We have no magic, so I'm not talking about magic currently. Also, I don't entirely know how to do it, but that'll be something we may or may not learn depending on, well, basically how things go. Are you just gonna charge at them? Is that your strategy? I'm not sure I'm a fit. Oh, you're going to go to siege this. That's your strategy, huh? You're gonna out-siege them. Ruler has converted faith a few times. It's intriguing. Okay, well I can close that, that's fine. So we're gonna siege over here. Are we bouncing because the AI is stupid? We might be bouncing because the AI is... Yeah, we're bouncing because the AI is stupid. Okay. So what's happening here? I'm just gonna detach our army while we're here. So what's happening is we're going to a province, we're sieging. The AI has brought us there, but then what's happening is the AI gets there and it goes, oh no, we're over our supply limit. It's time to leave the province. So then it bounces to the next province and goes, oh no, we're over our supply limit, and bounces to the next province. So what we're gonna do is just chill. Ah, our wife has laid an egg. Fantastic. That is virtuous and means that we have another child on the way. So we're gonna siege here. Apparently our plan is to siege. I'm not a huge fan of that. You're raiding me? That just doesn't seem on. There's not a lot I can do about it either, currently. Although maybe I do want to head back and see if I can deal with it, but let's head down here. Let's head down to the Black Marsh and see if I can get them to fight me. I'm gonna run my own war. Yeah, we're gonna live down in Weko. Yeah. Black Marsh and Weko. We're gonna live down here in Act Week and see if the AI will come over here. I do hope that this disappears after some time. We may need to add in a sub-objective of killing her. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Head over here. Child of my dynasty. So this is my son's child with sleeps beneath filth. Okay. And the child's name is Hatchling? That's what we would like to name our child, Hatchling. Do you think that's a good name? Could we have a good heel name? Yeah. Dish Demik? Sure, that sounds better than Hatchling. We'll go with that. Okay. So I'm gonna hang out over here and hope that these guys come and fight me. That's my current plan. I'm acting weak so that, in theory, they'll come over here. If they look like they're gonna go and attack that side, that's fine. We can join in, but... Right, actually, let's go here. That makes us a little closer if we need to join in. But yeah, right now I'm trying to get them to come down to us. I think that they're just gonna attack. Okay. So let's move our way along the edge here. See if they will continue with us. Or where they're gonna go. So they're going straight into these floodplains here. I'm not sure that's great for them. Are they just gonna siege? If they just siege, that's fine. We got any Black Marsh down here? Okay, we'll head to the Shadow Marsh. And continue just kind of being here. We are going to escape. That's fine. Are you going to fight me in the Shadow Marsh? My daughters? Oh, I have 2 children. Who, what names shall you be granted upon undertaking the Chukase as adults? Oh, they're meant to be called hatchling. When they become adults, they get a name. Oh, my mistake. Okay, so we named that one a little early. We'll leave them as hatchling then. Gained a level of devotion. You're known for being dedicated to your faith. So we are now faithful. We also have 2, yeah, we now have 2 children. We have this child and this child. Okay, awesome. Are you going to come and fight me in the marsh? I'm not going to move from the marsh. The marsh is my only safe land. I have considered moving marsh, but I don't think I'm going to move from the marsh. I hope that's understandable. See what they're thinking. I'm going to start moving now, just to see if I can get them to follow. Okay, they're not coming over here. That's fine. I'm just going to see what they're going to do. Okay, commander promoted. Bennis. Bennis, you're good enough. You may be stupid, but my god, you can be a champion. You know what I'm actually going to do here? I'm just going to click everyone into allowed again. We'll let the yeah, we will let the AI control that again. Cool. Because we only really needed it for setting an acclaimed knight. Also, I believe that the people who laid an egg just lost some prowess. So yeah, they're actually worse at doing things now. Okay, so you're heading down here to my Black Marsh. I think I want to fight you there. Can I go here and then here? Yeah. Let's go down here then. Let's see if we can make that happen. Courtiers killed in sieges? My daughter was kidnapped. Well, I'd rather you hadn't done that, if I'm honest with you. It's rather unfortunate. Okay. So, they went down here. I think I want to fight them. I think we're gonna win. Yeah, their supply is running low. We have no supply issues. We'll be defending in Black Marsh. This seems like our fight. Now, they may come and fight us, but even if they do, they're breaking their sieges while our ally continues his. So we are assisting with the war. Now, it thinks that this is really bad for us. We're committed. We have no way out of this. This is the only way this goes. So I hope your siege goes well and you capture his leader, because we're in trouble. Okay, let's see if this gamble paid off. It was an all-or-nothing gamble. Was it needed? I don't know. But we now have the Black Marsh modifiers on, which is something. They've got modifiers that don't affect anything. Our advantage is higher. We are right now in a better position. How many days do we got? 15 days here. Okay, that's quite a lot. You got 28 days and you got 48 days. So if you look at how much time we have, we got 15 days, 28 days, 48 days. So we got new troops coming every 15 days. So we got 15 days to clear troops. Let's see how this is going to go. So 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. They're losing a lot of troops per day. This is going pretty well. Okay. Don't know what my allies are doing, but that's okay. How many days have we got left? 8. It's not great. Currently, we've got 5 days left. They're going to have a lot more troops than us at some point in 2 days' time, but we are reducing their numbers. We are actively causing casualties. They added a bunch more. Neighboring ruler won a war. So our rival just won a war. What was that? The Stormhold de Jure War for the Chiefdom of the Cradle of Shadows. Okay, so here's where we have to make a choice, right? Currently, we are losing this. We will probably lose this battle. However, it's upgraded from you're definitely going to lose to you're probably going to lose. We have caused a lot of damage already. We could just retreat and let our ally win some sieges. We do get bonuses when retreating. I think how many days do I have to decide? I have 13 days. I think we wait 3 days. We see how things go. So, 1, 2, 3. That was tough. We lost some troops. They lost some troops. Let's wait 3 more. 2, 3. So, again, that was kind of even. How many are they adding? So in 7 days, they're adding another 15,000. We're probably going to lose that one. Can we hold? We can't hold on till that ends. I think I have to take the retreat. Yeah, we're retreating. They're pursuing, but we lose less when we retreat, so that's fine. Sweet, we're retreating over here. That's absolutely fine. We keep most of our troops. We did some damage to them. That's absolutely fine. How many troops do they have overall? Still roughly the same number, but I think that's because they've added more to their total, not because we have, not because we haven't done any damage. Yeah. I would suspect if we have a look here, someone's bought mercenaries. Yeah, so he's bought 700 mercenaries. So we have definitely done damage, and also he has special soldiers. So if we were actually fighting his army, those numbers are permanently lost. So that's good for us to know. Also 3 days left to the siege, which is going to give us no war score? None. So that siege was worth nothing. Huh. So the only thing that was worth war score is the sieges up here. That's an interesting thing to learn. Okay. We get a lot for occupying the enemy capital. Wonder what the ticking war score is. I guess there isn't any because it started 12 years ago. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do here. Well, I guess we're going to retreat and then we're going to see where we are at the end. But I assume that means that to win, we have to siege this one and this one. Okay, that's good info. Now we know the win condition. Because if that's not worth anything, you're an ally in the war, right? Yeah, so this guy is an ally in the war. So if that's not worth anything, that means that sieging ally provinces don't matter. So that is where we need to go. So our new plan is to ditch our own lands. We're going to head to here as quickly as we can. So this is enemy territory. How much do we take? We take 100 casualties. Is there a better route there? I don't think there's a better route there. Is there a better route here? Absolutely not. Right, so we're going to head there. And we're going to hope that our allies follow suit. Okay. So our lands also, by that logic, shouldn't matter for war score. Right? Because our lands aren't part of the war goal. Our daughter was ransomed. Okay. My brother paid for my daughter to be let go. That's nice of him. Yeah. Okay, let's head up this way. Our wife has laid another egg. Does that give her 2, or does she just keeps the same trait? I understand, that's fine. Right. Oh, also, how bad was it? We can have a look at this battle. So yeah, we lost 226 troops. They lost 391. They put in a lot more troops than we did. That's all I can say about that. They put in about double the troops, and they had about double the losses. That's a very good thing in the war there for us here. So they're de-sieging some land. Now, that is actually worth war score. I don't think that's the way to win the war, but it is useful because it might distract these guys. On the other hand, we might distract these guys with what we're doing. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to siege this bit of land now. As long as it's going to take 10 months. That's a really long siege. They're about to win their siege. Okay. And now they're heading to the next province. So now they're just trading sieges, which is fine. And we're grabbing this one. Someone's sieging our land. We can actually test in a second whether this does anything. So this is the merciful reduction. Does that do anything? So that's being occupied. That is worth 0. So yeah, that's still worth 0 war score. Fantastic. That's really useful to know, actually. So that doesn't matter at all. Now, it matters a lot for us because we are taking negatives from this. Like, our control got dropped. It's not good. But it's really good from the perspective of the war because it means that if we siege these two things, in theory, it's going to be the type of war that gives us 100% war score. That would be very nice. So, 6 months left. Let's keep sieging. Anything that we need to do in here? Nothing immediately. That is absolutely fine. Happy for it to be that way. Aha, we breached the walls. That's good. We could assault the fort. I don't see a reason to do this unless we think they're going to stop us. Right? If we think they're going to stop us at any point, then doing it makes sense. But anyway. We have another hatchling. This hatchling is stuttering. I guess given that we have so many hatchlings, we probably shouldn't worry about them until they become adults, right? Well, yeah, I mean, apart from doing the Guardians on ship stuff on them. But, like, until they become adults, they're not really anyone right now. They're just hatchlings. Okay. Also, it got us more piety for having more children. That seems pretty good. 3 months left. Fantastic. These guys are on 40 days left. They're going to finish their siege, and we are going to finish our siege, which is going to give us a huge war score swing. So that gave us a huge amount of war score. We captured a prisoner as well, which is great. So we're currently, that was worth another 37.3. So that will definitely give us 100 if we get the last one. So we're going to head to the last one, and we're going to try and siege it. It's the right way forward. I'm sitting around a map table with Tree Minder, Chak Soli, and Tree Minder Guy Jacine discussing our strategy for the ongoing war. Chak Soli eagerly points out all of the prime targets we should immediately send raiding parties to pillage, while Guy Jacine sits back and patiently advocates for us to secure critical locations and wait for the enemy to come to us instead. It is my right to decide our ultimate course of action. Okay, so there is a correct option here usually, but we'll read through them anyway. The way I tend to handle events in individual campaigns is we tend to read the event once, if it's an event we haven't seen before, and if it's got options that we've all seen before, like there's no new ones due to our traits or things, we'll choose the option that is best, unless there's like an obvious you lose something, you gain something from these. But right now, there is a best option. We get improved pillaging and improved defending, so we get defender advantage, and we also get siege phase time down, which is fantastic for sieging. Advantage -5 is a little bit unfortunate, actually. Yeah, that's not great here. And then hostile county attrition down, supply duration up. We can say improved pillaging is best, we can say improved defense is best, or we can have both of them give a bonus only for themselves. So we're going to employ both strategies because we want pillaging and there's no reason not to take defense with it. So there would be a reason not to take pillaging, actually. If we wanted to fight someone in enemy territory, having that advantage down would be bad, but we don't. We want to siege. Sieging is by far the most important thing we can do right now. So let's siege. 14 months left. However, our siege phase time is lowered, which means that we get new siege events every 18 days. So that means that we get more chance of breaking the walls every 18 days. New martial perk. This one is insane for us. So, sappers give skirmishers, heavy infantry, spearmen, and archers 0.1 siege. Now, if we have a look here, you will see that we have a bunch of skirmishers. So, that is going to give us 0.1. We also have spearmen, so that's another 0.1. So our siege has just gone down by 3 months by doing that. That's just huge. So our sieges are going to have new events quicker, and we're going to get more siege progress daily. So this siege should in theory be a lot more than 11 months. See, that just took a little bit of a jump there because we got a siege event. So that's fantastic. Okay, nothing happened there. Brother was taken prisoner. Not, importantly, the brother that is, or the brother-in-law over here. That's the brother who's down here who got taken prisoner. What war is he in right now? His war is the conquest of Tzel, of Altin Coromont. Oh, so I think that's for his capital. Yeah, it's not ideal for him. We'll probably try and get an alliance at some point, but we're busy with our current war. When we get out of our current war, which has a chance of us being imprisoned, then we'll think about it. Okay, neighboring ruler lost war. That was our brother. He left prison because he, that was part of them winning the war. Right, we could ransom this guy for 50 gold, I just realized. Is there any reason not to? I guess the reason not to would be if he's a... Yeah, if he's a champion. We could just execute him anyway, just on principle. That would be nice. Just to execute them on principle, gain some dread. You know what? Sure. I said I was going to follow our character's role a little bit more. We're going to do some role playing. He's wrathful. Let's execute him. And you know what? You will also be executed. Right. I'll get rid of the dress. Right, 6 months left. That is huge. Now, they may be coming for us. We would love the ability to assault the fort before they think about that. 5 months left. They are a little confused, however. They're not sure where to go. There's land that's sieged before then, which is worth nothing. They may go to that. The thing is, what we're relying on here is the AI being incredibly stupid. And as usual, that is something we can rely upon. Camp dispute. After my army sets up camp, I hear commotion coming from my champion's lodgings. Investigating the disturbance, I find Sleeps Beneath Filth and Benas in the middle of a heated argument while several onlookers edge them on. So we can attempt to deliver a speech about unity, have them whipped for their delinquency, or sod this, I'm going to my tent. You know what? We're going to have them whipped here. We're wrathful, I think that we're arbitrary. We're just going to make decisions and do whatever emotionally speaks to us, so let's do that here. That gives us a bunch of dread, which is useful in general for getting people to do what you want, but beyond that, not too useful. And we're getting a siege event every 12 days now. And that's kind of the benefit. Like, it was 18 days, now we got a breach, which is -6. We're getting more siege events. More siege events means the siege goes quicker. You see where this goes. Yeah, so this is going very, very quickly for us. And in fact, this should be 100% war score, I think, depending on how the war is done. Let's see. That is 100% war score. Fantastic news. So, the reason it's 100% is because we occupy every one of the enemy's holdings. That's why it was important to know that the ally holdings didn't count. Because if the ally holdings don't count, then this is the only person we're fighting, right? Like that person right there, this bit of land. So if we siege all of that, we win the war. Which means that we did in fact win the war. Our level of fame went up, which now means that we don't take a negative. Actually, did we jump 2? I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that means we don't take a negative. We just have nothing here for a level of fame. We do also now have Divine Authority, which gives us some control growth. That is what it was saying that we would get for raising our devotion. Cool. So, he paid 148 to our brother-in-law. Gained the name The Reckless, which is great. All of this is fine. Our brother-in-law is now the Slave King of Thorn. He got a pressed claim on the Kingdom of Tyrmarsh, which doesn't exist, but is that land up there. So basically the land that House Dress is currently occupying. Modesti seizes Thorn and proclaims himself king of its lands. Okay, cool. So he is now a king as well. We get a bunch of imprisonments. He gains some money. Cool. We gain a bunch of money and prestige. Fantastic. And we get some opinion with this guy. So be it. Right, I'm going to disband my troops, and then, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to negotiate an alliance. I am actually tempted, potentially, to just go directly underneath them. Like, as in directly just swear fealty. But let's get the alliance first. I think the alliance is very important to grab first. The reason it's important is because if we become his vassal, we would like some protections. I don't know if we want to do that, but it could be cool to be a vassal. Yeah, we can still enact revenge on Stormhold while being a vassal of Thorn, in theory. Yeah, it could be interesting. Do you want to swear fealty? What's regular obligation? Starts with contributions based on opinion. You can instead do contributions based on fame. It's tied to the liege's level of fame. Or my opinion of the liege. Or no obligation. Starts with no contribution. Does not contribute in the slightest. Is a vassal. Potentially could be okay. It means we wouldn't be able to join wars. It means that we would have to be a secondary in the... It means that our troops would join wars, but we wouldn't actually join. Unless tribal... I don't know whether you can call us in with tribal. Or in this mod anyway. Yeah, I don't know. So it's an interesting question. You know what I think we'll do? we'll go with the comments. What do you think we should do? Should we become our brother-in-law's vassal, trying to strengthen them up from the inside? Gives us a little bit of a challenge of keeping the AI strong. Maybe eventually we attempt to take over Thorn at some point? Or do we stay independent and focus firmly on Stormhold? Just try and get a revenge, expand it to their territory, and have 2 allies holding equal land over here. It's it's an interesting question. But anyway, I'm going to end the episode with that thought. Let me know what you think, and also let me know if you liked the video, and if you did, potentially consider subscribing, liking, all of that sort of stuff, which still helps with the video in terms of search rankings, helps the channel grow, helps the series grow, and is generally a nice thing to do, and I don't mention it after the first video. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.